Welcome to San.Remo, the seaside resort in northern Italy which hosts round 11 of the 2002 FIA World Rally Championship. The final all-asphalt event of the season takes place within 20 miles or so of the first in Monte Carlo. The Rally of Italy might be run almost within sight of the French border, but is very definitely Italian in flavour. The passion of the tens of thousands of fans who have packed the 18 stages will see to that. With 10 rallies gone and just 4 to go, the man to beat in the race for the driver's title is Peugeot's Marcus Grönholm.
If I can do well here, to be just there with Richard or Colin, then I think it will be much easier to start the last 3 gravel rallies.
Grönholm's closest challengers include his teammate Richard Burns, the reigning world champion. Burns, though, hasn't finished in Italy for the last 3 years. This was how his San.Remo rally ended 12 months ago.
I think Marcus is very comfortable. He has a good car for these last 4 events and he'll take a lot of catching, but of course we want to win some rallies before the end of the year.
Ford's Colin McRae has won the rally twice, but his most recent drive was his debut in Britain's ASCAR series, where he finished 6th. His mind, however, is now firmly back on rallying.
It's not looking as good as I wanted it to be at this point in the season, but it's still possible, and that's the main thing, and as long as it's still possible, we'll still keep pushing.
The ever-consistent Carlos Sainz in another Ford Focus is currently 4th in the series, and knows a 3rd world title is still a possibility.
Every rally now it's coming different. We are still working in the car. We have a few things which hopefully it's working fine, and we have to wait and see.
Subaru's Tommy Mäkinen is another 2-time winner in Italy, but knows that a string of retirements this year and the pace of the French teams mean a 5th championship is now unlikely.
We have done quite a lot of work, which car feels much better, and I think it is a bit faster, but is it fast enough? That's the different story.
The clear favourite to win his 3rd successive rally San.Remo should be Gilles Panizzi, but a shoulder injury meant he didn't compete on the last round in Germany, and the Peugeot driver's putting a brave face on his chances.
I think it's okay, and I drive, if it's not okay, I drive with the left hand.
But Peugeot aren't the only French team looking for a win. The Citroën factory team aren't here, but there are a pair of semi-official Zaras for Philippe Bogalski and the winner of last year's Rally of France, Jesus Couras. Hyundai's Fred Rock set the blow turbo on the shakedown test the day before the start, although both Mitsubishi and Skoda reported no problems in their run-up to the rally. Going into round 11, Marcus Grönholm is 18 points clear of Colin McRae, with Burns and Sainz now the only real threats to the Finn. Tommy Mäkinen is a lowly 9th, but there are still 40 points on offer from the 4 remaining rallies. In the series for manufacturers, Peugeot could clinch the title this weekend if they score a 1-2 and Ford get less than 3 points. Those then are the championship positions, while this is the challenge facing the crews over the next 3 days, as Carlos Sainz's co-driver Luis Moya explains.
So here we are in San.Remo Rally, in one of the stages that used to be used before, called Perinaldo. They used to be stage 1 for quite a lot of years. This surface here, as you can see, is quite abrasive. There are 2 typical surfaces in San.Remo Rally. One is that one, which is like sandpaper, very aggressive. And the other one is a smooth tarmac, new tarmac that is coming more and more over the roads now. Those 2 surfaces, when it rains, it becomes very particular. For example, when you're driving through this one is not so bad. You have quite a lot of grip. When you go onto the new tarmac, then it becomes very slippery. And sometimes what it makes it even worse is all these leaves that they come onto the road underneath the trees because of the wind or spectators walking, and then you get onto the corners and it's very, very tricky. And that's the characteristic of this event.
All of the action over the 3 days takes place on just 4 sections of road. Day 1 consisted of 8 stages, 3 used twice, while the other 2 would be used again on day 2. dawned dry but cloudy, so the roads would be moist and slippery until the sun could burn away the dew. The first of those 8 stages was the 14.4-kilometre road over the Passo Telia. The virtual spectator stage guide shows how the road snakes its way up the mountain before finishing at the summit. Championship leaders Marcus Grönholm and co-driver Timo Rautiainen were first to arrive at the stage start. Unlike gravel, tarmac stages don't deteriorate with the passage of cars, so conditions would be the same for all the title contenders. The Finnish pair, therefore, knew that they had to attack right from the word go. That then was the target for the others to beat, and the first pair to try would be Colin McRae and Nicky Grist. This year's other asphalt events have shown that the Ford and Pirelli combination is nearly as quick as the Peugeots and Citroëns on Michelin tyres, but that didn't stop McRae from pushing. That very public speed score might have cost a pair less than 10 seconds, but it meant they were only 12th fastest. Next to go were Richard Burns and Robert Reed. Would they be able to match or beat their colleagues' time?
Low, 30, flat right, 30, flat left, 50 brake, easy right plus narrows.
No, they couldn't. Nearly 3 seconds the gap. After the second Peugeot came the second Ford. Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya were nearly 5 seconds quicker than their teammates, but were still over 7 seconds off Grönholm's pace. Panizzi was next. Even as he joked at the stage start, it was clear his right shoulder was worrying him. Nervously adjusting his belts, the Frenchman was aware that many people had dismissed his chances of yet another victory. This was his chance to prove them wrong.
Gauche à fond, et gauche à fond.
But he too was unable to match Grönholm's time. Like the Fords, the Subarus are on Pirelli tyres, and so were also expected to suffer. Tommy Mäkinen, though, clearly had other ideas, and stormed through the stage to set exactly the same time as Panizzi. Clearly, the Subaru team had made improvements, although Mitsubishi was still struggling. Francois Delacour was equal 12th fastest, while Alistair McRae was only 17th. Philippe Bugalski's rally began superbly, 7th fastest ahead of Burns, but again slower than Grönholm. Hyundai's Armin Schwarz had struggled to regain his fitness after breaking 2 ribs in Germany. Sadly for Schwarz, he became the rally's first victim, less than 12 kilometres into the stage. So no Schwarz on the leaderboard after stage 1, but as many had predicted, the top 6 included 3 Peugeots and a Citroën. Mäkinen's Subaru and Marco Martin's Ford were also within 5.5 seconds of Grönholm, with the chasing pack headed by Sainz's Focus and Peter Solberg's Impreza. Stage 2 was the second half of what will be run as a single 42-kilometre stage on day 2. Passo Drago continued the journey begun on stage 1 to plunge into the valley on the other side of the mountain. At over 26 kilometres, though, it was nearly double the length of the opening test. Grönholm must have been inspired by that stage 1 performance. He again flew through stage 2 to set a tough target for the others to chase.
7, Maseri miinus ahdas. 120, Maseri jouhee, 7, oikein nopea.
Richard Burns had at least avoided repeating his stage 1 retirement of last year, but was well aware that he needs a couple of victories if he's to prevent Grönholm from retaking the world title. A win here in Italy would certainly help his championship hopes, but it seemed Marcus would be a difficult man to beat. So Burns was again nearly 5 seconds slower, but what about Panizzi in the number 3 car? To Gilles' delight, his shoulder wasn't troubling him, and he was starting to get back into a rhythm.
Droite à fond droite, 60 mètres, gauche 95 coups, attention dans droite 90. Gauche à fond, 60 mètres. Droite 90 lourd, sortie étroit.
0.7 seconds faster than Grönholm. It seemed normal service had been resumed. In the Fords, Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz are running a similar setup, while Marco Martin has opted for a different setup which suits his style. It was again the Estonian who was the quickest of the three, with Sainz 9th fastest, 8 seconds slower than his young colleague. McRae's Focus was the slowest of the three. Early in the stage, the Scot was just 13th quickest. Petter Solberg and co-driver Phil Mills were 4th fastest. The pair have suffered more than their fair share of early problems this year, so to be 7th, only 10 seconds or so off the lead, was an encouraging way to begin the event.
Line into 2 right minus, tightens 1 tightens. Opens.
In the other Impreza, Tommy Mäkinen and Kai Lindstrom were also enjoying a strong start. 7th quickest, the Finnish pair were delighted with changes they'd made to the car's handling and were now 5th overall. Philippe Bugalski wasn't able to repeat his stage 1 performance and was only 8th fastest this time, while Jesus Flores and the other Zara was nearly a second quicker. Francois Delacour's Mitsubishi was now just outside the top 10, although Colin McRae was breathing down his neck. Stage 2, however, was much less enjoyable for Colin's younger brother Alistair in the other Lancer. He and David Senior had opened the car's bonnet to check something after stage 1, and in their haste to get going again, had to check the bonnet pins had been put back properly. That would turn out to be a costly mistake. Viewing the incident again from the onboard camera, the sudden lack of visibility caused by the bonnet flicking up is frightening. The pair had no choice but to stop and secure the bonnet, losing well over a minute and a half in the process. The job then continued at the stage finish, where a sheepish McRae confirmed what had happened.
I basically stopped at the start of the second stage because there was some smoke coming from the bonnet, and then had a look, and I didn't put the clutch back in right, so the bonnet blew up after the start. No good.
Let's call in the virtual spectator to compare the two Mitsubishis on the stage. Until McRae's bonnet flies up, he and Delacour are virtually inseparable, but it's soon clear that Alistair is slowing, and so Francois is able to head off into the distance. So much time is lost by the problem, in fact, we have to zoom out to the biggest scale to show you the difference between the pair. Stage 3, and the sting in the tail normally happens at the end of a rally, not the beginning. For Grönholm and Rautiainen, though, the stage did hold a few nasty surprises. Stalling the car on the start line was just the beginning. A total lack of turbocharger boost would then drop the pair from 2nd place to 7th. That elevated the charging Richard Burns to 2nd place behind Panizzi. To give you an idea of just how much time the turbo problem cost Grönholm, keep an eye on the cars parked on the left of the road on Burns' onboard camera, and then watch just how long it takes his teammate to pass the same place. That was fairly early on in the stage, remember. Marcus would lose yet more time before the end.
20 medium left plus hook, 30 fast right plus hook, 50 medium left minus tightens long to fast right.
Yet another Peugeot would be even faster than Burns' 206. Once again, Gilles and Hervé Panizzi set the fastest time, the brothers' 2nd stage win, to extend their lead over Burns and Reed to nearly 6 seconds.
60 gauche 90. Droite à fond long. Sur gauche à fond. 100 mètres.
Philippe Bugalski's Citroën was now 3rd, the Frenchman planning a suspension change at the service area which followed the stage. More serious work awaited the Skoda mechanics, however, after Tony Gardemeister remodelled the rear end of his Octavia. Amazingly, the accident happened a few inches after the car crossed the finish line, so no time was lost. Watch for the red board, and then brace yourself. Service after stage 3, a new windscreen awaited Alistair McRae's Mitsubishi to replace the one smashed on stage 2. But the team mechanics worked away, others also had tales to tell. Some frustrated at their morning's work, others far happier.
Are you surprised to be the highest placed Ford?
I don't know, I'm a bit surprised that I'm so much quicker than Colin and Carlos, but I don't know, maybe they had some small problems or something. We had a very good run, no problems, very good setup from the pre-event test and everything working good.
Colin, a bit of Deutschland deja vu for you on the first stage. What happened?
Yeah, just did a bit of a, not a half spin, not even, but I stilled the engine with the handbrake on a hairpin and had to restart. Then the second stage we had a puncture right at the start.
Gilles, you've won 2 stages so far in this rally. That shoulder seems to be not slowing you down at all.
Not for the moment. I am happy for that, and I found the rhythm after the first stage and in the middle of the second, and I am very happy because I drive well and I have the good feeling with the car. And for the moment, I try to drive well. Only that. Drive. No more.
Stage 4, and the clouds were gathering. As far as Sainz was concerned, the threat of rain was of no concern. His car was parked up at the stage start with an oil leak, and Lewis Moyer's shrug said it all. Their rally was over.
One pipe from the differentials has broke, and then it's coming all the oil into the exhaust manifold, and we cannot continue.
Grunholm's turbo problem had been cured, and the 2000 world champion was once again on the pace. He'd be 5th at the end of the stage, helped by Sainz's retirement, but commented that all of the Peugeot team's bad luck seemed to be focused on his car. To no one's surprise, it was once again Panizzi who was fastest, his 3rd stage win from 4, although it wasn't by much.
Et 60 mètres, attention, gauche 85. Sur droite 85.
Philippe Bugalski and Jean-Paul Charoni were 4th quickest, losing another 1.3 seconds to the crew ahead of them, Richard Burns and Robert Reed.
2, 1, go. 1 left.
Peter Solberg looked to be having another good run. He was 7th fastest, a little over 6 seconds down on Panizzi, but that start would come under close scrutiny by the organisers. The Norwegian would later be penalised 10 seconds for jumping the start. Sure enough, if we replay the start in slow motion, you can clearly see that the car is moving before the clock reaches 0. Another driver to lose time on the stage was Harry Rovanpera, who dropped over a minute when his Peugeot suffered hydraulic problems. Stage 5, and it was clear that not all the spectators were Italian. Gilles Panizzi won in both Corsica and Catalonia earlier in the year, and he'd surely have been in line for the title had he been able to contest the Rally Deutschland last month. His form on day 1 in Italy certainly suggested he was on course for yet another victory. He was quickest again on stage 5 to extend his lead to nearly 13.5 seconds. Solberg must have been furious at himself for the jump start on stage 4, but he'd lose yet more time on 5 after another slight mistake.
Get in. Left. All right, half long, keep in. Into slippy maybe for left. Open 60. Need 2 right tightens minus.
While Solberg was dropping down the leaderboard, Bugalski was moving the other way. The Citroën snatched second place from Burns after the Frenchman stormed through stage 5.
pour droite 113, ouvre et ferme 100, corde et ferme 100 corde. Pour l'arrivée 113, vas-y, et à fond, 60 mètres. Stop, stop.
Just 1.3 seconds prevented Bugalski from halting Panizzi's run of stage wins, while Jesus Puras and the other Zara was also flying. Puras has already secured this year's Spanish title with 2 rounds to go, and a good result in Italy would be a terrific way to end his season. He and Carlos Del Barrio were now 7th, 12.5 seconds or so behind Mäkinen.
Although there's 2.5 days left to go in the rally, you can start to think of victory in your head?
No, because no, for my shoulder, it's for the moment I drive well, and I am very concentrated on each stages.
We had some small problems with the gear shifting and with a very soft brake pedal, but I think it was not the whole reason because we lost so much. It has been quite good for us, no major problems, and quite a good feeling with the car, and yeah, it's a great battle with Tommy and Petra, so we'll see.
Petter, you got a time penalty at the start of stage 4. What happened there?
No, but I don't believe it, you know. I never taken a jump start in my life.
Stage 6 was a rerun of the day's opening test, the stage which saw Schwarz's retirement. The second run over the Passo Tellier saw no such dramas, but this time Panizzi was quicker than Grönholm. Would he win yet another stage?
Gauche à fond, 60 mètres, droite 95 plus, larme gauche 90 plus, 60 mètres, droite 90 long presque plus, gauche à fond long, 30 mètres, forme 95 de bref, attention, dans droite 90 un peu long.
Bugalski certainly hoped not. He tried virtually every trick he knew, and things looked to be very close as the stage finish drew near.
100 mètres, attention, léger droite très dur pour épingle gauche 70. Léger droite très dur pour épingle gauche 70, c'est les dames.
Despite Bugalski's efforts, Panizzi was again quickest, but by just 0.3 of a second.
Stop, stop, stop.
Behind the 3 Peugeots and the Citroën, Mäkinen was now engaged in a scrap for 5th. He and Marco Martin went into the stage tying for 5th, but the Ford driver lost out to the Subaru on this occasion, although only by a little under 2 seconds. Francois Delacour, meanwhile, was still engaged in his own fight with Colin McRae for 10th place. The Mitsubishi driver was grimly hanging on, but would lose over a minute with turbo failure before the day was finished. Stages 7 and 8 would then round off the day. Colin McRae's bad luck hadn't left him, though. Stalling the car on the start line of stage 7 meant he and Grist were only 15th fastest.
And 6 left and right hanger.
But this would be the last we'd see of Tommy Mäkinen. Drive shaft failure meant retirement on the road section after stage 7, a disappointing end to a promising day for the Subaru driver. That took some of the pressure off Marco Martin and Michael Hart. Third quickest on stage 8, they're both the leading Ford crew and the best of the non-French teams tonight. Richard Burns' 4th place Peugeot was the first of those French cars, the Englishman having slipped a place on stage 8. Marcus Grönholm must have been cursing his bad luck. The turbo problem had cost him the chance to end the day in 2nd place, and so he'll start day 2 over 16 seconds behind Bugalski's Citroën. Berg himself is just over 22 seconds down on the rally leader tonight, and is poised to attack on tomorrow's 6 stages. But there's no denying the drive of the day. Gilles Panizzi shrugged off any thoughts of his injured shoulder to dominate the day. He and his co-driving brother Hervé were fastest on all but the first of the 8 stages, and will take a well-deserved lead into the rally's 2nd day. This is exactly how things stand going into day 2. Panizzi's lead over Bugalski tonight is nearly 23 seconds, with Grönholm now 3rd ahead of Burns. Martin and Puras complete the top 6, and it's now Petter Solberg's Subaru which leads the pack, chasing a point-scoring place.
Philippe Bugalski pushed very hard this afternoon, and I can stay before him, so I am happy.
Can you catch Gilles Panizzi tomorrow, do you think?
I hope, but it's very, very difficult. Gilles drives very fast.
Marcus, you're third at the end of the first day, but in reality, is it better to beat Richard Burns than Gilles Panizzi on this rally?
What can I say? I just look tomorrow how Richard are driving and then I try to keep the same speed.
So despite all the worries over Gilles Panizzi's health, he's driven superbly today and has made a terrific start to his bid to win this event for the 3rd year running. Join us again tomorrow to see how he'll fare on day 2's 6 stages, but from day 1 in Italy, it's good night.